Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Tinhamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Shunyavadi Paskatya Desatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare-rama, Hare-rama, Rama-rama, Hare-hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Prabhakacharya Asadhara Sidhushi Shiman His Divine Grace Shalasi Bhaktivedanta Swami Raj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Gaur Premanande Harival Slava Zabrani Bhaktam Slava Shri Guru Shri Gurangi Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vrastaya Pute Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Tenamane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Vicharane Nirvishesha Srinivadi Askadyade Siddharne Om Agyana Timirandasya Gananjana Salakaya Chaksur Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shigaro Shiyuta Parakamalam Shigaram Vaishnavam Cha Shirupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Vrajana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shiva Sakans Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karna Sindho Dinabando Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vanu Sudha Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakapa Turvyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha Patiranam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Pranityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 15, the Yoga of the Supreme Person, text number 8. Shariram yadavapnoti yatschapyukramatishvaraha grihi vaitani samyati vayoraganda nivashayat Shariram yadavapnoti yatschapyukramatishvaraha Grihit Paitani Samyati Vayoragandan Ivashayat. Ragandani Vashayat Shariram Yadavavnoti Yatschapyu Kramatishvaraha Grihit Vaitani Samyati Vayoragandani Vashayat. Ladies, no playing in the temple. Jagannath, you're in the temple. Grihit Vaidani Samyati Vayoragandani Vashayat. Shariram, the body. Yat, as, avapnoti, gets, yat, as, chaapi, also, ukramati, gives up, Ishvara, the Lord of the body, grihitva, taking, etani, all these, samyati, goes away, vayu, the air, gandhan, smells, eva, like, ashayat, from their source. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. He doesn't want to go. He's feeling too much separation. The living entity in the material world carries his different conceptions of life, one body to another, as the air carries aroma. Thus he takes one kind of body and again quits it to take another. Please repeat. The living entity in the material world carries his different conceptions of life from one body to another, as the air carries aromas. Thus he takes one kind of body and again quits it to take another. Purport. Here the living entity is described as Ishvara, in control of his own body. If he likes, he can change his body to a higher grade, and if he likes, he can move to a lower class. Minute independence is there. The change his body undergoes depends upon him. At the time of death, the consciousness he has created will carry him on to the next type of body. If he has made his consciousness like that of a cat or dog, he is sure to change to a cat's or dog's body. If he has fixed his consciousness on godly qualities, he will change into the form of a demigod. And if he is in Krishna consciousness, he will be transferred to Krishna Loka in the spiritual world and will associate with Krishna. It is a false claim that after the annihilation of this body, everything is finished. The individual soul is transmigrating from one body to another, and his present body and present activities are the background of his next body. One gets a different body according to karma. He has to quit this body in due course. It is stated here that the subtle body, which carries the conception of the next body, develops another body in the next life. This process of transmigrating from one body to another and struggling while in the body is called karshiti, or struggle for existence. Shariram yadavapnoti yatschapyukramati grihitvaitani samyati vayorgandani vashayat. The living entity in the material world carries his different conceptions of life from one body to another, as the air carries aromas. Thus he takes one kind of body and again quits it to take another. Namo Vishnu Praya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutaya Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Tanamane Namaste Saraswatundeve Gauravani Pacharane Nirvishesha Srinivadi Paskyatyade Sadarane. Here it talks about consciousness. So in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Ita prakashayat ekam kritsnam lokim manravi kshetra kshetri tata kritsnam prakashiti bharata. Just like the sun alone illuminates all this universe, so the soul within the body illuminates the entire body with its consciousness. So we talk about the soul having consciousness, just like the sun having sunlight. Now, what does it mean to change our consciousness? Because we're already purely conscious. How can we change our consciousness? Well, actually what our consciousness is now is covered. So we have the ability to desire to change the covering. Now we ourselves don't change the covering because we're not in control of the covering. Krishna is in control of the covering. We can control our desire to change the covering, and then Krishna changes the covering for us. That we're not directly in control of the modes of material nature, but Krishna is in control of the modes. And according to our desire, Krishna gives us what we desire and what we deserve. Therefore, Maharaj Rishabhdev said, what did he say? Nunam pramata kurute vikarma yat indriya pritya yat apnoti nisara manye yat atmano yam asanapi kleshada ashadeha. Nunam. So Maharaj Rishabhdev is saying nunam, it's indeed, which means like he's surprised. Pramatak, which means madness. Nunam pramata kurute. Kurute means to do, or activities. Vikarma. So people out of madness are doing sinful activities. The very activity that they're trying to become happy by doing actually is making them unhappy. So that's called madness. Especially if you keep on doing the same thing over and over again, and you get the same result, and then you think, this time I'm going to get a different result. I'll do it again, but this time I hope for a different result. Although you keep on doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same result, we're expecting a different result when we do it again. And then we get the same result anyhow. Nunam pramata kurute vikar yadendriya pritya apranoti. So it's the senses that are demanding us to perform certain activities. And we believe that if I follow the dictation of my senses, I'll get happiness. And indeed, we will get some happiness. But that happiness is called tuchavat, insignificant compared to the amount of happiness we expect or we hope to get from it. It India pritya aprinot sadhamanya. So we're trying to become sadhus or sadhvis, which means that sadhu or sadhvi means that actually I know it's a waste of time, so I won't do it. That's a sadhu. Uses intelligence. Or sadhvi. Nasadhamanya yata atmanoyam asanapi kleshada ashadeha. Because asha deha, nasadhamanya yata atmanoyam asanapi kleshada. Because it's miserable and it's temporary. So Maharaj Rishabhdev then further says, Paravadas tavada bodha jata yavana jignasita atma tattvam. That as long as one is not inquisitive about the absolute truth, then one is defeated by the illusory energy. Because the human form of life is an opportunity to battle with the illusory energy. Otherwise we become defeated by it. Defeated means that we wind up in the lower species of life. What is the advantage of becoming an animal in our next lifetime? Well, one of the advantages is that in the human form of life, it's so difficult to get sense gratification. You have to work so hard. You have to get a job nowadays, and you have to work sometimes over just to live in a house. To maintain the house, you have to work so hard. And then you have to cook the food, you have to serve the food, you even have to wash the dishes. And then if you have children, you have to educate them, so-called educate them. But usually, after educating them, they wind up completely rascals. They have no appreciation whatsoever. They think they deserve everything. And you never gave them enough, what they actually deserve. Everyone is a little prince and princess nowadays. So much work, so much endeavor, for getting, just eating, sleeping, mating, defending. And at the end, we die anyhow. Now we come back as an animal, life is so much easier. Of course, a little bit of fear if you're a bird and someone wants to eat you. Some problems are still there. But still, say you're a monkey in Vrindavan, which is a nice place to be a monkey. But still being a monkey, there's probably better forms to be in Vrindavan. Still, if you're a monkey, then you don't have to worry. No one's going to criticize you if you have 20 girlfriends. You won't be on Facebook. No one's going to criticize you. You can eat whatever you want. You don't, even if you have children with those 20 ladies, you don't have to work very hard for them. There's no alimony to pay. There's no educational bill. They learn how to swing from a very young age. As soon as they know how to swing, that's their educational has been completed. There's no old age insurance. You don't have to worry about paying the mortgage. You just have to steal a few bananas and everything's all right. Simple life. And if you're a hog, it's even better. Because, it's about the same, because you can eat whatever you want. Anything, like the hogs in Vrindavan, they open their mouths and they live in the sewer. And they open their mouths and they get the remnants of all the Vaishnavas in Vrindavan. And they love it. They're in hog heaven, all of them. They're in love with everyone. So human form of life is quite inconvenient. So much struggle in the human form of life, but not in the animal form of life. Of course, when you're a frog and you're being eaten by a snake, you probably wish you were someplace else. But generally they don't think about it so much. Of course they think about it a little bit, but they don't, maybe, I don't know, I can't remember being a frog. But I don't think they dream at night, they can't sleep, the snake's coming, the snake's coming. Generally, they're not so intelligent to worry about the snake. And even when the snake comes, they're not so, I don't think they have such acute senses that when they're being swallowed, it hurts that much. In any case, it's not good to be an animal, although basically, if we just want to eat, sleep, mate, and defend, it's not a bad life. If we consider when the hog eats, even when he eats things that we find disgusting, he finds them delicious. It's hard to imagine, but that's a fact. And when the hog sleeps, he gets a more peaceful sleep than we can. You've seen hogs on the roads. The cars are going all around. The cars are, in India they don't drive so carefully, but still they don't want to run over a hog. They'll probably have to sell their car. So the hog's sleeping on the road and the cars are just going everywhere. Even the dogs are sleeping on the road. They couldn't care less. They're completely peaceful. So they've been defeated by the illusory energy, but they don't know that. But we're supposed to know it. That we're supposed to purify our consciousness so we can come to Krishna consciousness. Nunam pramata krute prabhavas tavad abodha jata yavana jignasita atmatadvam. In other words, until we start inquiring about who we are and what the absolute truth is, as soon as we stop doing that, then we're being defeated by illusion. And how does illusion defeat us? That Paravastava Bodha Jata Yavan Jignasitatma Tatvan Yavan Kriya Tavadi Dambido Minovai Karmatmanas Yena Sharira Bandhaha. In other words, whenever we do an activity outside of Krishna consciousness, that Maya covers our minds and our senses with the illusory energy. And therefore we can't perceive things as they actually are. We perceive things as the illusory energy is presenting it to us. And it's a virtual reality Krishna has created, a huge virtual reality where we actually believe what Maya is presenting to us is actually being the truth. But it's just a presentation by the illusory energy. And as long as our minds are covered like that, as long as then our consciousness is unclear, we don't actually perceive our own existence, and we don't perceive anything else clearly, and therefore, kamatmaka yena sharira, we have to take one body after another. Therefore, Maharaj Rishabdev says that, what's the next one? About India. I wonder if this has the Nunam Pramatta Kurute Vikarma General Index. Sanskrit verses. What's that? Evamana karma pramanyam yukte avidyatmam nupadiyamane yavan look here 275. Evam mana karma rishan prayungte avidyatman upadiyamane pritirna yavan maeva sudeve namuchinte deha yogena tadvat. So evam mana karma prasam prayungte. As long as our mind is filled with the reactions to our karmic activities, these remembrances, which are all about lamentation and hankering. That's material life. Everything that we're thinking about except for Krishna, in some way or another, is either a lamentation or a hankering. However subtle it might be, for instance, we're thinking about what we did in school. So then we may think, well, I took a test, I only got 98. I wish I could go back and get 100. I made a mistake. But actually the mistake is to worry about what we did in the past. Whereas Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, forget about the past that sleeps, nor in the future dream, but live in times that are thee now, and progress thee will call. So our real mistake is to lament about what happened in the past. Because in the past it was, to one degree or another, we were an illusion. And to worry about what's going to happen in the future, we don't have to worry about what's going to happen in the future, because it's the same thing that happened in the past. There's not many things to do in the material world except for eat, sleep, mate, and defend, or become Krishna conscious. There's not much else to do. Therefore, evamana karma prasam pranyukte. So as long as we've been engaged in materialist activities, naturally our minds are filled with all this hankering and lamentation. We may think, I can't, if only I could go back, I could correct that mistake. Yes, and then Krishna will let us go back and we'll make another mistake. Let's take another birth so we can correct that mistake. We'll make 5 more mistakes trying to correct it. And then, avidyatman upadiyamane. So the real mistake is that we're thinking we're this body. It doesn't matter what body it is. It's a mistake. Because everybody has to die, which is quite a problem. especially if you're trying to become God, is a great problem, because every time we try to lord it over the material nature, we wind up being defeated by it. It disappears. It's like trying to claim you own a river because you have your hand in it, therefore it's mine. But the river is just the water is passing through your hands. You don't own any of the water. It's just coming and going. So what water do you own? You can't even hold on to any of the water. So that's called avidyama. So we have these identities. We're cultivating so many identities. I'm this country, I'm that country, I'm male, I'm female, I own this, I own that, this is my house, this is my family. But it's all disappearing. Therefore, we're always feeling defeated. We're trying so hard to maintain it, to appreciate it, to whatever else, but it's all disappearing all the time. And because we have these attachments to these identities, but the identities aren't really helping us very much. They're just making us attached to these ideas that aren't really very permanent. And they're not even real, because they're not our real identity. They're just false identities we've taken, and due to this false identification, we have so many false duties we've created. These false things that we think we need, that we actually don't need, all due to my identification with this body, and then all the social pressures that are expected of me. I'm supposed to be like this, I'm supposed to be like that, but it has nothing to do with who I actually am. And therefore, pritirna yavan maya vasudeva, as long as we don't develop love for Krishna, so that Krishna reveals himself to us and we realize who we actually are, then namuchite deha yogena tat. We have to take one body after another. There's no question of becoming liberated from our false identity. If we want to serve it, if we actually believe it's real and that it's worthwhile serving this false identification, then we have to take one body after another and have so many false identifications to serve. So therefore, Queen Kunti says, better I get problems, better I find myself struggling in the material world, and then I'm forced to remember Krishna and rely upon him, than having a nice material existence where I become puffed up because I think I'm so beautiful, I think I'm so wealthy, I think I'm so intelligent, I think I'm so many different things, and I want more and more of this false prestige, and therefore I'm becoming more and more crazy, more and more intoxicated by the material energy. Better to suffer in the material world and try to rely upon Krishna so he becomes merciful to us, than to think I'm so important, I'm so intelligent, I'm so this and that. I don't need Krishna's mercy. I have it all together. Therefore, Krishna comes in the form of death so that everyone gets the lesson sooner or later that we're not any of these things. They can all be taken away from us in a moment. Only thing that can't be taken away from Krishna, for us, is Krishna consciousness. And if we try to cultivate that, then we can actually get something valuable. Therefore, here the analogy is used, just like air is pure. But when air passes through garbage, it smells very foul. And when air passes through a rose garden, it smells very sweet. So similarly, our consciousness by nature is pure, but when we desire certain things, then we become covered over by that particular mode of nature, and our life and our association is not so pleasant. On the other hand, if we associate with the sadhus, then the result is our consciousness becomes purified, and our natural pure consciousness, sweet consciousness comes out, and then our life becomes nice. So that depends upon us. Which, do we want to go to the garbage heap and associate with the crows there? Or do we want to associate with the devotees and become purified so our natural sweet consciousness comes out? That's our decision. So that everyone has to make a decision. In the human form of life, that's our choice. At least we know what our choices are. And therefore, hopefully we can, the more we learn, the more Krishna reveals to us, then the more we keep on making the right choices rather than the wrong choices. And that choices are our desires. Desires are prayers. Every desire we have is a prayer to Krishna. And when that desire becomes strong enough, then Krishna, he may answer it to some degree or another according to what we deserve. But we have to be careful where our mind is going, where our desires are going, because that will create the coverings or uncover us. It'll either cover us, Krishna will either cover us or uncover us according to our desire. If we want to go away from Krishna, then Krishna will cover us more and more. And if we want to go towards Krishna, then Krishna will uncover us more and more. Simply we have to make a choice at every moment. When we come to the temple and try and hear about Krishna, when we chant Hare Krishna, we take prasadam devotionally, then the result is that we're becoming uncovered to some degree or another. And when we avoid those things and do something else, then we're becoming more and more covered. And then we'll suffer more and more. Krishna will hopefully let us know we're suffering, so then we start turning to Krishna, so we can uncover ourselves again. In any case, sometimes we're a little stubborn. And we know that we shouldn't be doing this, but we think, well, give it one more try. And then we get disturbed, we become smashed, our consciousness bothers us, and hopefully we become a little humble so we don't think, well, all right, my conscience is bothering me, but I'm too proud to admit I was wrong. And then we do it again and again and again. So, at least we should, at least our philosophy should let us know. We should at least admit that we're not perfect, powerful, and happy. That we don't know everything. We don't need anyone. We don't even know. We don't need Krishna. We're doing all right. It's like a man's in a hospital. He just got run over by a truck. His arms are broken. His legs are broken. He's in a cast. He has tubes in every hole in his body. And someone comes in and said, how are you doing? Oh, I'm doing all right. Not bad. What will it take before he realizes he's not in a good position? Another truck has to come to the hospital and run him over again. Then he might admit, yeah, I think I maybe have some problems. So if we think we're doing all right, being in a material body, about to transmigrate into another one, I have no problem. I'm doing all right. I just need a little bit more money, a little bit more fame, a little bit more power, a little bit more of this or that, then I'll be all right. As long as another truck doesn't come and run me over. So at least we should understand we're in a position where we should take Krishna consciousness seriously. There's no reason not to take it. Otherwise, there's plenty of trucks running around. So I'll stop there. Thank you. Any questions? Yes. Do we have a microphone?
Gomaraj, I was thinking, it's also said if we make offenses towards devotees that we also degrade in our spiritual life. And I was wondering if we think negative about a person.
You have to hold the microphone.
Oh, sorry. If we think negative in our mind or not good thoughts in our mind, is it also counting as an offense, and it will degrade us also.
Yeah, Yamaraj is noting it all down.
Has a lot to do.
He has a scorebook. Yamaraj has assigned one of his assistants to each one of us. All right. Yes, well, why not think good thoughts? What is the value of, what do we get? How much more do you get in value if you think badly about someone? I hate you. I hate you. I love hating you. I feel so good hating you. Who suffers when we hate someone? I hate you to death. It's like Prabhupada gives the example of the vulture flying overhead, saying, the cows down below, and the vulture's going, I hope you die, I hope you die, so I can eat you. But the vulture, it doesn't have any effect on the cow. It's the vulture that has the bad consciousness. So why not think, if we can't think something good about someone, why think at all? What good does it do? Yeah, sometimes. Well, that's good. It's only so. Yeah, but we're not the mind. We don't have to pay so much attention to the mind. And if the mind, even if the mind says, we should tell the mind, why don't you say something nice about it? We should use our intelligence. So the mind says, this person's, he looks terrible. So then you tell the intelligence, well, think of something good for the mind to say about it. And the intelligence will say to the mind, well, he's actually, he cuts his nails. Nails. So then the intelligence will find something good to say, because that's what we want. If we want to find something bad to say, then the intelligence will remember, Krishna will help us remember something bad. And if we ask the intelligence, I want to think about something nice about the person, then the intelligence will tell us something nice about the person.
Is it then that if negative thoughts come, that you have to kind of defend it with your intelligence?
Or you have to just let it go by.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But, if all day long we're just watching the thoughts go by, it's probably good to think of something positive.
Then it's getting time.
That's why we read these books, so we have something positive to think about.
Thank you.
It's not that you go back to the spiritual world and you're expert. You wind up in Goloka Vrindavan. You're sitting there. And when Radharani's assistants come and say, can you cook something for Krishna? No. I'm just watching my thoughts go by. How'd you ever get here? I don't know. I saw somebody come with the airplane go by and I snuck in. Anything else? Grantaraj Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande.